Have your legs felt weaker lately? Like just climbing stairs leaves you breathless? You might think it's just aging, but what if I told you it could be the vitamins and healthy foods you trust every day? Most seniors I talk to have no idea this is happening. But the truth is, two specific vitamins, when taken in excess, could silently drain your leg strength, faster than age ever could. Even worse, they're often recommended in senior supplements. I met a woman named Susan, 69 years old, active, sharp, but suddenly she couldn't walk more than half a block without sitting down. She was taking vitamins, eating what she thought was light and healthy, and yet her legs were getting weaker by the week. What we discovered might surprise you, and it might just help you change your life too. In this video, I'll walk you through the hidden causes behind leg weakness after 60, the top foods and supplements making it worse, and the smart changes you can make today to rebuild strength naturally. Before we dive in, have you ever felt sudden leg weakness or soreness for no clear reason? Leave a comment below with yes or no. I read everyone, and who knows, your story might help someone else watching too. Now let's break down what's really happening to our legs after 60 and why what you put in your mouth might matter more than you think. What if I told you that even if you feel fine, your body might already be losing strength every single day? There's a name for this invisible decline. It's called sarcopenia, a condition that affects millions of older adults, yet few have ever heard of it. Sarcopenia is the gradual, age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. It doesn't come with flashing warning signs or loud symptoms. It comes quietly, with things we often brush off: struggling to carry groceries, losing balance more easily, feeling sore after a short walk. And here's the surprising truth. This process doesn't start at 70 or 80. It can begin as early as your 40s, and by the time you're 60 or 65, you may have already lost up to 25% of your total muscle mass without realizing it. Let's go back to Richard for a moment. When we talked, he said, "I thought I was just slowing down because of age. I didn't know I was actually losing muscle." He wasn't alone. Most seniors assume weakness is natural, but natural doesn't mean unavoidable. So what causes sarcopenia to accelerate? The biggest culprits: lack of movement, especially strength-building activities, low protein intake, chronic inflammation from poor food choices, and yes, even certain vitamins and supplements taken in excess. Think of your muscles like a bank account. Every time you walk, lift, eat a balanced meal, you're making a deposit. But every time you skip meals, stay sedentary, or eat processed food, you're making a withdrawal. And by retirement age, the balance matters more than ever. Here's a simple rule to remember. Muscle equals movement equals independence. Lose muscle, and eventually you lose mobility, balance, and confidence. But there's hope. The earlier you recognize it, the more power you have to slow it down, or even reverse some of the loss. In the next section, we'll uncover one of the biggest accelerators of muscle loss in seniors: sugar, and how this sweet ingredient is quietly sabotaging your legs every day. It's in your morning muffin, your afternoon tea, that slice of pie you reward yourself with after a long day. Sugar, sweet, comforting, and surprisingly destructive. For decades, we've associated sugar with weight gain and diabetes, but far fewer people know this. Excess sugar directly contributes to muscle loss and leg weakness, especially after 60. Let's break it down. When you consume refined sugar, think cookies, pastries, sweetened drinks, it causes your blood sugar to spike rapidly. Your body responds by releasing insulin. But if this happens too often, your cells stop responding efficiently, leading to insulin resistance. And that's where the trouble begins. Insulin resistance means your muscles aren't receiving the fuel they need, glucose, to generate energy. Without that fuel, your muscles become fatigued, inefficient, and prone to deterioration. You may start feeling heaviness in your legs after meals, unusual soreness after simple activity, a sense of imbalance or instability on uneven ground. Let me share a quick story. Margaret, age 67, started noticing her knees ached and her calves felt tight, even though she hadn't changed her daily routine. She was puzzled. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. But after we reviewed her diet, it became clear. She was having just a little dessert after lunch and dinner, every single day. Over time, that sugar built up silent inflammation in her body, compromising her muscles and joints. When she cut back and started eating more whole foods, her legs became noticeably less stiff within 3 weeks. Here's the bigger issue. Refined sugar also triggers chronic inflammation, which breaks down tissues, including muscle. It slows recovery, worsens circulation, and increases the risk of swelling and cramps in your legs. Even worse, many sugary foods provide zero protein, magnesium, or essential nutrients, meaning your body gets energy spikes, but no building blocks to sustain strength. The lesson? Sugar doesn't just expand your waistline, it chips away at your strength, bite by bite. But the good news? You don't have to give up all treats. Start small. Swap pastries for fruit with cinnamon. Try dark chocolate, 70% plus cocoa, instead of milk chocolate. Limit sweetened drinks and explore naturally flavored waters. Your taste buds will adjust, and your legs will thank you for it. Up next, we'll talk about another enemy hiding in plain sight. Crispy, golden, delicious. Yes, we're talking about fried foods and how they silently stiffen your joints and sabotage your circulation. Golden, crispy, comforting. Fried foods have a way of making us feel nostalgic, like Sunday dinners, family gatherings, or fairground treats. But after 60, these same foods may be doing quiet damage to your legs, joints, and blood vessels. And you might not even realize it until it's too late. Let's take a closer look. When foods are deep fried, like French fries, chicken nuggets, or even onion rings, they absorb large amounts of trans fats and saturated fats. These types of fats are inflammatory by nature. Once inside the body, they trigger low-grade, chronic inflammation, especially in your joints and muscles. Think about it like this. Inflammation is your body's internal fire. And fried food? It's the gasoline. Now imagine that fire quietly burning in your knees, your hips, your calves, day after day. No wonder so many seniors feel stiff, sore, or swollen without knowing why. Here's what happens next. Inflammation reduces blood flow, which means your muscles receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients. This starves the muscle tissue, making it harder to repair or grow. Over time, the result is weaker legs, more joint discomfort, and longer recovery after activity. Let's revisit Richard, the retired principal we mentioned earlier. He told me, "I love my Friday fried fish. It's tradition." But after 2 years of keeping the habit, he noticed his ankles swelled after dinner and his legs felt heavy the next morning. The turning point came when his doctor connected his poor circulation to his weekly indulgences. He switched to grilled fish, added leafy greens, and within weeks felt a dramatic difference in energy and movement. Here's the truth most people don't know. Fried foods also thicken your blood vessels, making it harder for blood to reach your lower limbs. And without that circulation, your leg muscles start to shrink in strength and endurance. The lesson? You're not just feeding your cravings, you might be starving your legs. But don't worry, you don't have to say goodbye to flavor. Try air frying, baking, or grilling your favorite dishes. Use heart-healthy oils like olive oil or avocado oil in moderation. And if it's hard to break the habit, start by replacing just one fried meal a week with a cleaner option. Small steps count. In the next section, we'll look at something you probably eat every single day, especially for breakfast. White bread and refined carbs. They may look harmless, but they can drain your energy and make your legs feel like jelly. Let's uncover why. It feels light, it's quick, and it's everywhere on breakfast tables and sandwiches, even as a harmless side to soup. But white bread and refined carbs could be silently draining your energy and weakening your legs, meal by meal. Let's talk about why. White bread, white rice, sugary cereals, and other refined carbs are stripped of their natural fiber, protein, and nutrients. What's left is a high glycemic, fast-burning starch that floods your bloodstream with glucose, fast. And that spike in blood sugar, it feels like a rush of energy until it crashes. Suddenly you feel tired, your muscles sluggish, and your focus fading. Here's where it becomes dangerous for seniors. Those sugar spikes and the crashes that follow disrupt your muscles' ability to use glucose efficiently. Over time, this metabolic roller coaster leads to muscle fatigue, weakness in your legs, poor endurance for basic tasks like walking, climbing stairs, or standing too long. Let's meet Diane, age 70. She loved her morning toast and jam with a cup of tea every day. She figured it was light, better than greasy food, but by 10 a.m. she was already feeling shaky and needed to sit. Her legs felt wobbly. At first she blamed aging, but once she swapped out her white toast for whole grain bread plus eggs, something changed. More energy, less shakiness, stronger legs. Why? Because complex carbs with fiber release glucose slowly, feeding your muscles more steadily throughout the day. Here's a simple way to understand it. Refined carbs are like kindling. They burn hot and fast. Whole carbs are like logs. They burn slow and steady. And at 60 plus, your muscles need steady fuel, not bursts that leave you empty minutes later. White bread also lacks protein and essential minerals like magnesium, which your muscles rely on to contract and recover. So every bite of processed carbs without balance is a missed opportunity to nourish your strength. The lesson? That harmless sandwich might be feeding your hunger, but starving your legs. The good news? You don't have to quit bread altogether. Swap to sprouted grain, oat, flaxseed, or rye bread. Pair it with protein, boiled eggs, nut butter, or avocado. It's not about restriction. It's about smarter choices that serve your body, not just your appetite. Now that we've tackled sugar, fat, and white carbs, let's look at something else silently weighing you down. Salt and preservatives. They're hiding in your canned soups, frozen meals, and deli meats. And they could be swelling your legs and starving your circulation. Let's break it down. You open the can, heat it up, and in just 5 minutes dinner is served. Sounds convenient, right? But convenience often comes with a hidden cost. And for your legs, that cost could be circulation, strength, and comfort. Let's talk about salt and the quiet trouble it causes when it's hiding where you least expect it. Most canned soups, frozen meals, deli meats, and instant noodles are loaded with sodium. Not just a pinch to taste, some contain over half your recommended daily intake in a single serving. What does all that salt do? First, it causes fluid retention, which leads to swollen ankles, heavy legs, and stiffness, especially in the evenings. Second, it raises your blood pressure, putting more strain on your heart and reducing blood flow to your limbs, including your leg muscles. Less circulation means less oxygen reaching your muscles, slower recovery after movement, a creeping sense of fatigue, soreness, and instability. And that's not all. These packaged foods are often full of chemical preservatives, like nitrates, MSG, sodium benzoate, and artificial flavorings. Over time, these compounds increase systemic inflammation, which weakens your joints and muscles at the cellular level. Let's look at George, 74 years old. He lived alone, didn't enjoy cooking much, so he leaned on canned chili, microwave dinners, and instant ramen. By late afternoon, his legs would ache, and walking around the block felt like climbing a hill. His doctor discovered chronic fluid retention and high blood pressure, traced back to his diet. After shifting to low-sodium, homemade meals, even simple ones, he said, "It felt like I got my legs back." And here's another layer. These foods offer very little real nutrition. They're low in fiber, protein, potassium, and magnesium, all essential for keeping your legs strong, stable, and pain-free. The lesson? Easy doesn't always mean healthy, and when it comes to your legs, shortcuts in the kitchen can become setbacks in your mobility. So what can you do? Choose fresh or frozen vegetables over canned ones. Cook with real herbs, garlic, lemon, and olive oil instead of salty seasonings. Look for low-sodium labels. And better yet, prepare small meals in bulk to freeze for later. A little effort in the kitchen can lead to a big difference in how you feel from the waist down. Next, we'll uncover something even more surprising. Vitamins. Yes, some vitamins, when taken in excess, can actually weaken your muscles and contribute to leg pain. Let's talk about the two most misunderstood supplements most seniors are taking right now. We often hear this message loud and clear. Take your vitamins, they keep you healthy. And that's partly true, but only when the dose is right. Because sometimes even healthy habits can hurt us when we don't understand the full picture. Today, let's talk about two common vitamins that many older adults take daily, often with good intentions, yet which can quietly sabotage your legs if taken in excess. Vitamin A and vitamin D. 1. Vitamin A, the overlooked muscle strainer. Vitamin A is essential for your vision, skin, and immune function. But too much, especially from supplements, can lead to a condition called hypervitaminosis A. This can cause muscle aches, joint stiffness, fatigue, weakness in your legs and back. And here's the problem. Vitamin A is fat soluble. That means your body stores the excess in your liver instead of flushing it out. So the buildup happens slowly, often unnoticed. Let's look at Lois, 71. She was taking a multivitamin and a separate skin and hair supplement with high doses of vitamin A. After 6 months, she started experiencing soreness in her thighs and difficulty walking up the stairs. Blood tests showed elevated liver enzymes and excess vitamin A in her system. Once she stopped over-supplementing, the discomfort eased and her mobility returned. The takeaway? More isn't always better, especially when it comes to vitamins that your body doesn't naturally eliminate. 2. Vitamin D, the surprising calcium trap. Now let's move to vitamin D. It's often called the sunshine vitamin. And yes, it's vital for bone health and immune function. But too much vitamin D can lead to a condition called hypercalcemia, too much calcium in your blood. And what happens when calcium levels are too high? Muscles become stiff and sore. Cramping increases, especially in the calves and thighs. Coordination can suffer, making balance and walking more difficult. In the long term, it can even contribute to calcification of soft tissues, like tendons and muscles in your legs. Here's a real-world case. Dennis, 68, had heard that vitamin D fights fatigue, so he started taking 5,000 IU daily, plus a fortified protein shake. After a few months, he began waking up with burning sensations in his legs, random cramps, and tightness. His doctor found his blood calcium levels were too high. The cause? Vitamin D overdose. Once his dosage was adjusted, based on lab results, his symptoms began to fade. If it's in your multivitamin, your joint pill, your immune booster, and your morning shake, you could be doubling or tripling your intake without knowing. And when your muscles and joints are on the line, that's a risk not worth taking. What to do instead? Don't self-diagnose or guess. Get your vitamin levels checked before supplementing. Stick to doctor-recommended dosages, especially with fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Get vitamin D from safe sun exposure, fatty fish, and eggs when possible. Get vitamin A from natural sources like carrots, pumpkin, and sweet potatoes, not just pills. Up next, we'll dive into the common mistake many seniors make with supplements overall, and how a well-meaning routine can slowly undermine your strength and independence. Let's explore why more pills don't always mean more protection, and how to build a safer, smarter supplement plan. You want to stay healthy. You want to stay strong. So you take your vitamins, maybe even a few extra, just in case. That's the mindset of millions of older adults. And it's also how many end up undermining their own strength, especially in the legs. Let's talk about one of the most common and most misunderstood mistakes seniors make: taking too many supplements without truly knowing what their body needs. Why does this happen? It starts with good intentions. You hear that vitamin D supports bones, so you take it. Then someone recommends a joint support formula. You add that too. Your multivitamin already has vitamin A, D, and calcium, but you don't check the label. Add in a protein shake fortified with senior nutrients. And now, without realizing it, you're stacking the same ingredients in multiple forms every single day. This leads to oversupplementation, and when it comes to certain nutrients, especially fat-soluble vitamins, that can backfire. Symptoms include leg stiffness, muscle cramps, sluggish energy, even joint pain and inflammation. And many seniors mistake those symptoms for just aging. Real story, meet Eileen. Eileen, 69, was proactive. She took a senior multivitamin, calcium plus D3, magnesium, a joint blend, and drank fortified milk daily. She thought she was protecting herself, but her blood work told a different story. Vitamin D, too high, calcium, slightly elevated liver enzymes, flagged muscle weakness in her legs, getting worse, not better. Her doctor helped her scale back, keeping only the essentials based on her actual test results. And within weeks, the heaviness in her legs began to fade. The lesson: supplements are tools, not insurance policies. More doesn't mean better. And when it comes to leg strength, balance is everything. What you can do today: review all the supplements you're taking, including drinks, powders, and fortified foods. Ask your doctor to test your vitamin levels before adding new pills. Stick to one well-formulated multivitamin unless otherwise advised. Prioritize nutrient-dense food over pills when possible. Your body changes after 60, and so should the way you support it. Because the truth is, what you absorb matters more than what you swallow. Up next, we'll shift from what to avoid to what you should intentionally include. We'll walk through the key nutrients, habits, and foods that actually rebuild leg strength, naturally, safely, and sustainably. Let's start building the foundation for strength that lasts. After everything we've uncovered, sugar spikes, hidden salt, inflammatory fats, and supplement overload, you might be wondering, so, what can I eat to support my legs and rebuild strength? Great question. Because while it's important to remove the bad, it's even more powerful to add in the good. Foods that nourish, protect, and rebuild your muscles from the inside out. Let's start with this key truth. Muscles aren't just built in the gym. They're built in the kitchen, bite by bite. The 5 nutritional foundations for strong legs: lean protein supports muscle repair and prevents age-related loss. Sarcopenia, great sources: eggs, chicken breast, lentils, Greek yogurt, tofu, salmon. Aim for 20 to 30 grams per meal if possible. Magnesium and potassium. These minerals support muscle contraction and reduce cramping. Found in spinach, avocados, bananas, pumpkin seeds, beans. Omega-3, fatty acids reduce inflammation, improve circulation. Sources: fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds. Fiber-rich whole grains help regulate blood sugar for sustained energy. Go for oats, quinoa, barley, brown rice, or sprouted grain bread. Hydration and electrolyte balance. Even mild dehydration can cause muscle fatigue and leg weakness. Drink plenty of water and include hydrating foods like cucumbers, berries, and citrus fruits. Real story: meet Helen. Helen, 73, was told by a friend that she didn't need much protein anymore. Her meals were mostly toast, tea, and fruit. She started feeling tired during her walks and even had trouble standing from the couch. Once a dietitian helped her reintroduce protein, leafy greens, and healthy fats, along with light resistance exercises, her energy bounced back. In 3 months, she was walking farther than she had in years. The lesson: eating well at this stage isn't about dieting. It's about defending your mobility. You're not just feeding your body, you're fueling your future. Sample strong leg day of eating breakfast: scrambled eggs, sautéed spinach, whole grain toast, and a slice of avocado. Lunch: grilled salmon salad with olive oil dressing and quinoa snack. Greek yogurt with chia seeds and blueberries. Dinner: lentil stew with carrots, celery, and a side of roasted sweet potato. Hydration: herbal teas, water with lemon, and 1 banana post-walk. When you combine food with gentle movement, like walking, tai chi, or leg-strengthening exercises, you're reinforcing your muscles naturally without extreme routines or expensive products. In our final section, we'll tie everything together. Let's reflect on what we've learned and talk about how to protect your strength, your balance, and your freedom for the years to come. Take a moment to imagine this. You're walking confidently through your home, getting up from your chair with ease, climbing stairs without holding the rail, still strong, steady, and self-reliant at 70, 80, even 90. That vision isn't wishful thinking. It's what happens when you protect your legs before they give you a reason to worry. Why your legs matter more than you think. Your legs aren't just muscles and bones. They're your independence. They carry you to the kitchen, out the door, across the world. When they weaken, so does your confidence, your sense of control, your freedom to live on your own terms. And as we've seen in this video, it's not just age that threatens them, it's what's on your plate, what's in your supplements, and the habits that sneak into your daily routine without notice. Real story, reclaiming strength one step at a time. Remember Eileen, the woman who unknowingly overloaded on supplements? Or Richard, who thought fried fish was just tradition, not inflammation in disguise? They didn't make huge dramatic changes. They made informed choices, cut back here, swap that there, and slowly, steadily, their strength came back. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened. And it can happen for you too. Final lesson to hold on to. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aware. Every smart choice you make today is a step toward a stronger, freer tomorrow. Let's keep the conversation going. If you've ever struggled with leg weakness or made any of the mistakes we talked about, drop a comment below. Say, I'm making a change if this video gave you a new perspective. Or share what small step you plan to take next. You never know. Your story could inspire someone else to take action too. And if this video helped you, give it a like. Share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to subscribe for more health insights designed to help you stay strong, mobile, and independent. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember, your legs are your freedom. Let's protect them together.